Alright, so I got the brooder box basically done. So I've got my little tray here, which can be pulled out. It's got little tracks to run on, so it doesn't take a lot of effort to move it in and out because it's sitting right here and right there only. And so just pull it right out. It's a little stiff in the front by design. That way it doesn't try to come out on its own, and you actually have to kind of want it to come out. It doesn't just like come out because it got stuck on the door or some damn thing. I did take my grinder to the wood here because I built the door a little too tight. So I kind of figured that was going to happen. It closes and it's extremely secure now because I built it way too tight. I actually had to put the hinges on the outside. That sucks, but I guess I could probably sit there and grind down this side fairly easily. There's nothing in the way of me doing that due to the way it's built. I guess other than that, but I got a bunch of glue in there, so once that sets, I guess I could probably grind that right off. And I tried to grind down here because, of course, that's where it's catching. And originally, it didn't close like that. It kind of closed like I needed a hammer to close it. So I guess we've made some progress, but you don't even really need to secure it. It'll kind of secure itself, which isn't to say that I won't. In fact, I've got my piece here. But yeah, so this side's done. I do think what I'm going to do is maybe in the upper corner here, well, first of all, probably grind those off so nobody impales themselves. But I'm probably going to put a outlet box here, and then I've got some cord and I've got a plug, and so you can take a little cord right here and plug it in wherever you're going to plug something in, and what that'll do is power the LED light that I got right here, which I haven't decided whether I'm going to mount to the top or the side. You know, normal people would think, oh well, why not the top? Well, first of all, it's this real thin stuff as opposed to 23/32 plywood. I feel a lot better securing it to that. And also, I may decide to put it in a box anyway, but I don't want it to be in an area where water would gather if it got wet somehow. So side seems like a better idea for that, since gravity will take care of that. But the light's only one thing. There'll probably be a switch set up for that thing. Also, maybe inside, maybe outside for that. Actually, outside seems like that'd be a better idea. That way I can click it on and not have to open the door. And it's less that's in there with chicks. But the other thing is obviously being a brooder house or a brooder box, I'm going to need a heating thing in here. It won't be that. It won't be that. I've actually got a 16x16 heat plate, and that's going to go in here with the chicks. And I haven't quite decided whether or not I'm going to do a hardware cloth bottom on this thing or not. It seems like it might be a better idea to maybe do a hardware cloth trap right there, where I put a piece of wood on either side and trap some hardware cloth in the back there, and then maybe give it a foot or something over here where it can rest on top of that. That way this thing doesn't have hardware cloth on it. I can pull it out, and only stuff that fits through hardware cloth will come with it, not everything. And the original idea was to make it so that I could pull that out right here. Well, I've got a hell of a thing there, but that's not going to happen because the design of the door is resting. It won't go further in there because it's it's tapping these guys right here, so I will have to take it apart if I want it to do that, and I don't want to take it apart. It's been quite a few man-hour work so far, so I think I'm kind of nearing my completion state for at least phase 1 here. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. I could have swore I bought a handle, but this will function as a handle for now. You can pull on it. But as of right now, it's looking really good. I do need to cut the window out. I was not going to stop until I cut the window out, but man, I'm exhausted after all of this. I drug out all my tools, and I've been out here fixing things that we kind of had some poor oversight on when we built this thing. It was getting pretty dark by the time we were done. Like, for example, the fact that this kind of comes up. That needs a couple more screws. But yeah, it's looking really good. I'd say we're probably about 50% done. We still have to do this other side right here. And on this one, I am considering cutting out this wall right here and actually giving them a window. I have some glass that I'm not using, and I could probably trap that with some 1x1s on the inside here, and that way they got some light that's natural. And then also I did buy enough hardware cloth to give them a window on their door, but I'm also considering either giving them a hole in the floor to come out and go down here, but that may or may not work with hardware cloth. I guess I could make like a little box out of the hardware cloth and line up a drilled hole with that so that they could go through it and access the area underneath here. But honestly, there's not that much room underneath there, and I don't really plan on laying this out in my yard. I mostly made it so I could move it out of here when I'm done and place it, you know, over there. Or actually, I've got kind of a side forest back here that is nice and flat and has rocks, and I was thinking about giving them a home out there. But in the meantime, until I maybe get some shingles on this thing and paint it, I was thinking, well, I'll just leave it underneath here or underneath my lean-to in the back. Added bonus of having it under my lean-to in the back is that thing is not looking like it's going to last another season, and this thing is so damn strong that if the roof lands on it, it's not going to bother this thing at all. So yeah, it started off looking really good, and now I'm not as excited about it. I'm not as fond now, but it will work, and I think it'll work really good. And at the end of the day, that's probably more important to me anyway. So I will be pretty excited about whether or not this thing can be forked. As it stands, I'm pretty sure I can't. The only thing that's really keeping it on the forks, if it decides to topple away from the tractor, is that board right there. So if I come in underneath this thing right here and lift straight up, all of the forward weight, which is probably the center of gravity on this thing, is probably forward of that quite a bit, because we don't have a lot of weight on the front right here, and we've got a really big chunk of plywood on the back. The goal was to make everything but the doors below the roof very strong, just as kind of maybe a predator thing and a weather thing. So that piece of wood right there is as thick as the floor piece and these side pieces, so it's very stout. So that's kind of a thing. But the roof, I wanted to go a little lighter. At least on this side, I don't even see why, if I'm not really taking this thing out in the weather, why it couldn't just be mesh anyway, or hardware cloth. So yeah, we got to kind of think about that, because it does get hot out here in the summertime. Some shade is nice, but ventilation is extremely important too. So we're doing pretty good.